First tonight, a government whistleblower has told ITV News a company which received a £400,000 loan from Jersey State may have disappeared. The money was handed out by the Jersey Innovation Fund, a £5 million pot of cash set up to help cutting-edge businesses flourish.
But there's no sign of the company in question, Logfiller Limited, at its registered address, and Digital Jersey say the firm is no longer one of their members and that they believe it has left the island. The government's spending watchdog is now demanding evidence that proper checks and balances are in place before the fund gives out money. Gary Burgess has this exclusive report.
Meet Joe, your company's COO. He makes sure all operations are efficient, compliant and secure.
This quirky promotional film is for Logfiller Limited, a tech company set up in Jersey in June 2014, one of 6 recipients of government cash from the Jersey Innovation Fund. That was set up to support business ideas that will in turn help grow the economy. But there's a question over whether Logfiller Limited actually still exists as a company in Jersey, with a senior government whistleblower telling ITV News there's concern about what's happened to the reported £400,000 it received. Well, according to the company's registry, this business centre in St Clement is home to Logfiller Limited. However, when you go inside, there's actually a firm of accountants who say categorically there is no company called Logfiller Limited based here. And indeed, when you phone the number from the recently deleted listing of Logfiller Limited on the Digital Jersey website directory, you get this.
This number is currently not in use.
And today, Digital Jersey, used by many tech firms, confirmed Logfiller Limited is no longer a member and that they understand the firm has left the island. All of which has got the state's financial watchdog worried.
What we do have to know and understand is what checks and balances are in terms of vetting the organisations that receive the grants and loans, and also what the outcomes are. Are they a success? Have they been a failure? How could we mitigate it against that if that was the case? So those are the questions we want to know more about, and it must be, as much due diligence as possible must be undertaken before making these types of investments.
Among those investments, there are success stories.
Yeah, not bad.
This firm in St Helier creates online games for lottery and gaming companies worldwide. It now employs 14 staff. Its boss says the Innovation Fund, in his experience, has a careful vetting process.
It is not an easy process, but you wouldn't expect it to be because we're talking about quite large sums of money here. So there's a lot of due diligence and to be carried out, and also the lender needs to be reassured that we're going to, at some point, have the ability to repay the states of Jersey their funds.
Stephen's firm is one of the successes, but question marks remain over both the whereabouts of Logfiller Limited and the money it received. Gary Burgess, ITV News.
Well, joining me now is the Minister Responsible, Senator Philip Ozouf. So, first of all, Minister, let's clarify some points through a series of yes or no questions. Did the Innovation Fund give Logfiller Limited £400,000?
Well, you're going to ask me for yes or no's. I'm going to try to say that. But what I won't do is answer specific questions about commercial confidential information, which is inappropriate to say that.
No.
Yes, that's in the public domain. That's true, yes.
Yes. So,
as I understand it.
OK, so they did receive £400,000. Does the company still exist in Jersey?
I'm not going to comment, and neither should anybody at this stage comment on individual companies. But let's be clear about the Innovation Fund and why it's there. It's there to help businesses set up. And we were clear, even the most critical states members said some companies will fail and some companies will succeed. And that's how to get jobs and growth. You've heard about some successes. There will be some failures. Now, before we start celebrating failure and casting aspersions on individual companies and writing them off, that I haven't seen any of that evidence yet, but I'll get it, about exactly what all the loans have been about and the governance, and make sure that that's strong. I caution against basically simply saying, as a result of a news programme tonight, that this business is out of of business because we don't know all the facts.
But but from as you saw, our research and a source inside the government has said it doesn't exist in Jersey. That's £400,000 down the drain. That's irresponsible, isn't it?
No, it's not, because actually you don't know the facts. Actually, you don't know, and we don't know whether or not this business has simply changed its business plan, whether or not it's actually now focusing on different markets.
But why aren't you keeping a track of that? It's nearly £500,000 of taxpayers' money.
Every pound of taxpayers' money matters, and every pound of spending matters. But what we've got to get away from is, before I took responsibilities, which I did on the 1st of January from this fund, and I'll make sure that all of the controls are appropriate, just as the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee quite rightly says, is that we're going to have to take some risks. Some businesses are going to fail.
Yes.
Some businesses are going to succeed.
Yes.
And what you have just basically said about this entity is you're certain that it's going to fail.
But Minister,
failed.
that's accepted, that this is a risky business. But our sources told us that instead of drip feeding the money on the basis of a company's success, that with this particular company, £400,000 was just given out the gate. I mean, shouldn't you be more prudent and lending money dependent on that company's success?
Can I just remind you that the state's approved the setting up of an innovation fund with a professional board, and all ministerial decisions have been made on the basis of recommendations by this expert body, which consists of a chairman who's an advocate, that some of our best and most experienced entrepreneurs in Jersey, who themselves have gone over and pored over those business plans, as Mr. Hickson was saying. So let's be clear.
But is it true that huge chunks of money like that are being handed out in one go?
Well, hold on a minute. Businesses require investment to grow. And actually, we've seen this week one of Jersey's largest trust company purchases ever. And actually, that started out as a small business. So actually, you need to invest to grow. And yes, there needs to be a tough line, which I agreed and I started, on spending and reducing spending and make sure that controls are in place. But what we've also got to do in Jersey is we've got to grow the income line. And how are we going to do that? Where businesses can't access finance for their good ideas that can create those jobs and opportunities for the future, we're actually not going to grow as an economy. Now, I'm going to make sure that the fund is working well. The Terra Alice review, which had a whole series of recommendations for innovation, is now being implemented, and I'm reviewing the fund. And there'll be no hiding place for anything inappropriate, but we're going to support success, but there will be some businesses that will fail.
Well, scrutiny, I know, are going to be reviewing this, so this isn't the end of...
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
True. Minister, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.